What am I most looking forward to about being a firefighter?
I genuinely have always liked helping other people.
The job itself is one of the most rewarding jobs that there is.
I can't wait to kind of go on my first shout. I can't wait to have my first night.
Doing something good, making a difference, being a force for good, and I can't wait to go out and actually do that. Now I know how to do that, I can't wait to put it into practice.
And all those new experiences, I'm really looking forward to.
We've worked here together with 19 of us that all came in knowing absolutely nothing, and we're going to go out to station with some incredible experienced firefighters who have got a depth of knowledge behind them.
Be open to anything. There is no point trying to guess what you're going to be doing because it will be entirely different to what gets thrown at you.
Oh, hello. Welcome to this week's live Q&A. I'm Dave and I work for Hampshire Fire and Rescue Service, and this is about recruitment into Hampshire Fire and Rescue and the Isle of Wight Fire and Rescue Service. This week we've got two guests. We have Roxy Roberts, who is a firefighter and has been with us for about a year now.
About a year and a half now.
And we have Rob from the Academy, who'll be answering all the more technical questions. So, also, if you have questions yourself, you want to ask anything, please feel free to put something in the comments and we'll include it as best we can, or as many as we can, as we go on. Okay. So, Roxy, what made you want to become a firefighter in the first place? And was it something you always wanted to do?
Serving the county is something I've always wanted to do. I enjoy helping people, and that what made me want to be a firefighter, just to prove people wrong, I guess. I've always liked a job that isn't the stereotypical female job as such, and I like to push myself and challenge myself, and you definitely get to do that in this job. And it's very diverse in its jobs, and it's just got a great team atmosphere, which is what I love as well.
Excellent. Well, can you tell us about a bit of your past, a bit of your history in terms of what other roles you've had before you joined?
Yes, so going way back when, I'm ex-military. I served with the Royal Artillery for about 8.5 years. I left that and started working for BT. Realised that it was more lone working and I missed the team environment. I then went into Network Rail, jumped again, and again still wasn't fulfilling my needs from a career. And then when the application process opened up for the fire service a couple of years back, I just thought, I'm going to go for this. This is what I need to do. I know there's definite team environments amongst that. And I was very fortunate to get in on my first try of the application form. And yeah, that was pretty much the route that I took in. It's very high and low, and touched all different types of careers, I guess.
Yeah,
but
good to try stuff out.
Yeah,
Do you reckon you found the one that's for you?
I definitely found the one that's for me. Yeah, 100%.
So how did you prepare for the course when you found out that you were on?
So a lot of my preparation was physical prep. So I found I was relatively fit anyway. I play a lot of sport, I play a lot of football, badminton and stuff. But in order to do the job, you need to have, I'd say, a little bit more robustness, and I'm not the biggest of persons at 5'2.5". So yeah, I found that going to a gym and actually getting a PT to do a program for me to work on shoulder and back and upper body, it helped me massively in the preparation for the strength that was needed during the course and the actual application process at the fitness stage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how I prepped. Mentally, I think I was already there because of my ex-military background. I was ready for the regimental side of it in a way, with the course, the 16 weeks of pure graft that you have to put in. I think I was prepped mentally for that.
It's very regimented.
No, I wouldn't say it's very regimented. I'd say that it's disciplined, and I think people need to be prepared for that and respect that as well.
Well, it's quite a lot to cram in, I suppose, isn't it, over the course of those weeks?
Yeah, and it's the level of skill that's required in order to do the courses as well. So you're working with hand tools, you're working with equipment that's not only going to be saving your life, it's also saving someone else's life. For example, safe working at height. You need to make sure that you're on your game with that and you understand it fully, how to operate the equipment. So you just need to make sure that you're prepared, that the stuff that you're doing is absolutely amazing, it's awesome. And I still can't believe I get paid to do it. But ultimately, you need to be switched on and prepared to be sensible as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if you remember, like, how long was that recruitment process? Did it feel like a long journey from start to finish?
Yeah, it did feel long because you just wanted to get to the next stage and be fortunate enough to get to the next stage. So I believe the actual application form came out at the end of the January that I applied, and it went to the next stage, which was the fitness around the February time. It had scenario questions before that, and then it went to the fitness side of it around the end of March, April, and then I had my interview at the end of April, and I found out beginning of June that I was starting in July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. We've got a question from a member of the public actually. It's from Mohammed, who said, "Is the training residential?"
No. So many years ago it was, but no, it's definitely not residential. Once you're in and you've been inducted, you can come onto site, any time you want. Generally, it's teaching time is a 9 till 6 day, but you'll be in before that, making sure uniforms prepped, PPEs clean and tidy, and then most people would probably do the same in the evening as well. So from a trainee point of view, it's a 9 till 6 day of teaching, but it's probably an 8 till 7 day in reality, with all the maintenance, cleaning to keep your own PPE, etc. up to scratch.
Homework?
Yeah, so lots of self-study. Each student will get issued a tablet, so they'll get like a Samsung tablet, and from that there'll be lots of self-study they can do in the evenings and stuff. So it's not just while they're here, there'll be lots of theory work to do at home as well.
What does the theory work entail?
So it could be studying presentations, so PowerPoint type presentations with like self-assessment quizzes at the end of that then links back into our training packages so we can see who's done what and who scored what. It could be that they might be given an area to go and study, so like during a BA course they might be tasked with finding out about backdraft, flashover, actual what those things are, ready for the next day. It's really varied depending on what subject we're doing. But IEC as well, which is our medical element of the job, there's generally quite a lot of study on the theory elements of that in the evening. Generally the course is very practical, and then in the evening you would do your theory study to back that practical up.
And just to be clear, BA is?
BA is for breathing apparatus, so what we wear when we go into a potential compartment fire or any smoke really, or another time where we need respiratory protection. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you. So, Rob, which parts of the course do you think take most people by surprise?
I think the general physical activity, so getting used to wearing the fire kit, and that's generally where people, I think, have a bit of a shock, where they think they're really quite fit, can run a marathon or run a triathlon or anything like that. But once you've got fire kit on, it changes that environment completely. And I think generally in the first 4 weeks of the course, when we're doing lots of hose running, traditional pumps and ladders, which is all core training of a firefighter, that's when people are quite surprised at how physically demanding it is. But then also when you then go on to moving into your breathing apparatus course, where you're going into fire compartments for training between 500, 700 degrees, that's again another test at another level. So not only have you got your fire kit on, you've then got a breathing apparatus set on, and you're being exposed to quite hot temperatures. So normally in the first 4 weeks, and then when you go on to do your breathing apparatus course, is probably the elements that take most people by surprise.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it definitely sounds familiar. Yeah.
Precious memories coming back.
Yeah. Still the best course.
I mean, what did you think? What was the bit that tested you the most, would you say?
The bit that tested me the most was, I would say, BA, but it was also the best part of the course, which I feel everybody says as well. So again, it's understanding, yeah, I can run the length of a football pitch over and over again and be okay, but being able to run up a couple of flights of stairs with your BA on, with a hose reel, making sure you're staying attached to your fellow firefighter as well, and then locating a casualty or a dummy and then having to remember that you've got to do a crazy BA shuffle and do your fire gases and then grab the dummy, then radio control. There's so much that you have to think about. It was quite mentally tough as well as physically tough with that one. And you do get very, very hot underneath. And yeah, but it's still the best thing that I've ever done. Yeah.
It actually sounds terrifying, frankly.
It's not.
It's not for me. When you tell people about it, are they quite surprised that you were able to put yourself through that?
I don't think they're surprised because they know that I'm quite a determined little character as such. And I like to do things that are going to push my boundaries. So when someone says you can't do that because you're such and such a height, I'm just like, challenge accepted. And that's pretty much what I've done with this. So they weren't so much surprised, but they were very supportive and understanding that, like Rob was saying earlier, it's 9 till 6, but when you're doing your BA, for example, it's not 9 till 6, it's 8 till 8 probably, and then you've got to take into consideration that you're driving as well, because you've got to prep the sets, you've got to make sure you're doing all your checks properly, because ultimately you or somebody else are going to be wearing those sets again the next day, and you don't want there to be any problems or issues with them. So yeah, the support that I had and the understanding that I had from family and friends, and knowing that I wasn't going to be signing for a football team for a whole season, was okay. So yeah, they understood where I was coming from.
Cool. Well, actually, on the topic of the training area as well, training school itself, well, the academy as it's now known, where is that actually based?
So the course will be here at headquarters initially, and then that's where we're planning for at the moment. So it will be here. Eastleigh, at our service headquarters site, which is obviously just up the road from Eastleigh Fire Station, that a lot of people might think it is. But within the course, we're then looking to go out onto other fire stations and other remote locations within Hampshire to give the students the maximum sort of potential or maximum of experience of what it's going to be like for when they start responding to operational incidents. So some of the course we will be in potential like derelict high-rise blocks or even live high-rise blocks to simulate some of those the skills we do. We might do some rope rescue out on some cranes and stuff that's out in the community. So even though our base will be here, we will be out and about all around the county doing our training.
Cool. One question from the public actually, Casey, has asked if a firefighting background is necessary. So I assume that means if people are retained firefighters beforehand, but...
Yeah, I think again it'll help, but at the end of the day, we take people who, Roxy is a classic example, no firefighting experience at all. My job and the training department's job and all the other trainers is to train that individual. So it might help. Sometimes it's actually nice if no one's got any sort of underlying knowledge, and then everything we tell them is fresh and new, which really helps. So yeah.
Because what were some of the other backgrounds of people on the course you're on, Roxy?
So we had a massive, wide variety. So we had people who are university students, people who are just in the fitness industry, myself ex-military, Network Rail, BT, and probably everything else under the sun. And then you had teachers as well. So there was loads of. We even had a dog groomer and a professional Irish dancer who danced with Michael Flatley. So, well, we did a little bit of dance and we got him to do it in the end. So yeah, it was just. I think it just says that it doesn't matter what your background is, this job can be available and open to anyone who just wants to give it a go and feels that this is what they want to do.
Sorry, excuse me, I'm trying to get this to work. What opportunities are there while people progress through the service? That's another aspect. Well, we did touch upon this a little bit last week. But obviously part of the appeal for some people when they join is not just the standard firefighting role, there's so many other roles. What appealed to you initially, Roxy? Was it just that team working, or are there other things you'd like to do in the service?
For me, the main thing that appealed to me is being in amongst a team again that ends up being more like your family. So it's like an extended family for me. It's the fact that although I don't mind working alone, I feel that things get done a lot better when you've got more people being able to put their penny in the pot and come up with a decision or a plan. And that's the thing that's appealed to me the most about the job, is the team environment. But the fact that you can do completely different things as well. So you're not just going to be a firefighter, you can be and just ride the big red truck. You can also end up entering the training world, which I enjoy coaching, I enjoy training as well. So that's something that I could look at doing in the future. Quite a few years down the line, I would like to get enough experience under my own belt first before I pass on any knowledge that I have myself. But yeah, there's also specialist vehicles that we have. That we've got the ALP down at Chelsea, the aerial ladder platform. And so to most people, that's basically the big truck with the big ladder that goes up a lot higher. So yeah, I'd like to do that within time as well. And there's also like the RSV, which is a fire engine basically with just even more tools, even more equipment to go to the more complex incidents and as such as well. So there's so much that's available to you within the world of the Hampshire and Fire Rescue Service and the Isle of Wight Fire and Rescue Service. I think your world's your oyster and the job can be whatever you make it. So.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think, so like as well, there's a lot more to just the operational side as well. So you can go into community safety, you can become a business fire safety inspector where we go out and do work with the communities, making sure their buildings are maintained to correct fire standards. That there is so much you can go off and do, and again at all levels, which I think is really quite important. A lot of people think you have to go up to move on. You don't. You can sidestep into different roles and secondments, etc. So absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we have there are other departments, like urban search and rescue as a specialist area, animal rescue. How much of that comes under training? So obviously wouldn't be in the initial.
No, so you'll get initial awareness type initial training for animal rescue, so you can keep yourself nice and safe, because obviously a traditional fire engine will attend certain animal rescue incidents. We have dedicated teams though. We have a team based down in the forest, a team at Winchester who have a vehicle specially for animal rescue, and then 2 other stations who support those stations. So, and we then have a whole team of dedicated animal rescue specialists who respond on their own in a vehicle. So yeah, it does become quite specialist as you go on. But every firefighter will have an awareness training of how to stay safe around animals, as an example.
Yeah. I mean, just for back to the basic training, as it were. It doesn't sound that basic actually. But going back to the beginning, how long does how long does it take to go from being a trainee to a competent firefighter? Because we had a question from Andrew who's asked that.
So you'll do 20 weeks initial trainee firefighting, maximum 20 weeks training, 16 to 20 weeks. And then from there, you'll then go on to be in the situation that Roxy's in now. So you'll become a firefighter that's within development. And then you'll have a development program that you'll work to, which involves lots of task assignments, lots of drills with your duty crew. And then after a period of time, you will get assessed by a station manager. So that's a person that's in charge of a fire station. And then a group manager who's in charge of lots of fire stations. And then after that, you'll be signed off as what we deem a competent firefighter. So it can take 18 months right up to 2.5, 3 years. So it can take a little while to do that. But yeah. And I'm guessing you're in your development stage now, aren't you? So looking to get that done.
Yeah. I'm aiming for February time for myself, as long as my seniors are happy with that, and my crew around me, if they're happy with that and feel that I'm ready to be assessed by the station manager and the group manager, then I'll take that.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So, apart from that, what else are you looking forward to in your future career, Roxy?
I'm looking forward to being able to develop myself, not just within the job, but just develop myself into understanding my community a bit better as well. Community is really diverse, so I want to be able to involve myself amongst different areas and different people within the community. I enjoy training as well and coaching, like I said earlier. So I would like to, within time, maybe come and assist Watch Manager Barrow up at training school. And
so, I mean, there are probably numerous misconceptions about what a firefighter does. I mean, either of you can answer that. You can take turns if you want. About what the role of a modern firefighter is, I should say. So, what qualities would make someone a strong candidate, do you think?
I think someone who's prepared to challenge, like take on challenge themselves. You need to be a team player. This job operationally on station, just from preparing the fire engine, ready to go out to any operational incident, to actually again though still engaging with the community. That's all about teamwork. The more of you that can work together, the better outcome in every role we do as a firefighter. So they need to, someone who is looking to join this job really needs to be, in my opinion, a really, really good team player. And I think that is a really good quality of a good firefighter.
Yeah. That you can think of, Roxy?
I agree with Rob. I second everything he's just said there. I think the job doesn't happen if you're individual. I think you definitely need to be a team player. You definitely need to work with each other, and you need to understand and compromise as well. I think you need to be able to compromise because everybody's going to have an opinion as well. So you need to be able to take on board and compromise and come to a plan collectively. And yeah, I think teamwork is the biggest key to this job.
It does sound like it. I mean, you must have a lot of trust in your colleagues as well, considering some of the situations you're going to find yourself in.
Yeah, I have all the trust in the world in my colleagues, from the person who's gone onto the station just before myself to the person that's going to leave in 2 tours' time, and my watch manager that's just left recently, Lacey, who's going to come up here as well with yourself, Rob. Yeah. So I have so much trust amongst them because ultimately they've got my life in their hands and I've got their life in my hands. So you just, yeah.
I think someone as well, they need to, like I say, challenge, be inspirational to themselves and the team they work in, inspire other people as well. So I think that's really, really important. And then also they need to really push themselves so they can, push on, make some progression. And again, it comes back to that team about if we can all do our bit to reach further, that team as a whole is going to reach further. So I think that's really quite important.
Great, thank you. I'm not seeing a lot of questions come through this time around, so we're probably going to wrap up pretty soon. But one last question just to finish up was, I just want to know, what feeling do you get when you wake up and you know now that you are a firefighter? What feeling does that get that's different to how you were before?
I'm buzzing to go to my job. I've got no qualms at all when I get up in the morning. As soon as the alarm's on, I'll turn it off, get up, make my brew, have my porridge, out the door smiling, because I'm going to go to a job and I'm going to have fun. Whether it means we get any fire calls that day or not, you'll be out in the drill yard and you'll be climbing ladders all day, shooting water somewhere, doing BA, or you could be going to do a safe working at height drill out in the community, anywhere. And I just can't think of anything better than to just be doing this really cool stuff and be getting paid for it at the same time. It's just, yeah, I'm really fortunate, really lucky, but I also know how lucky I am to be in this job. Yeah, so I just think everybody should just at least give it a go.
That's good advice. Roxy, thank you so much for coming in.
No,
Rob,
thank you.
Thanks for coming in again. Keep stealing your time. Thanks very much everyone for watching. Just two last little notes. Number one, we're releasing some exercise advice next week that will hopefully steer you in the right direction for before the course. So that standard level of fitness that we've been talking about tonight, so you can push yourself a little extra further, you'll be getting some advice from us. We'll let you know when that comes out, and that'll be on Facebook and Twitter and all the regular places. Also, recruitment will go live, can I say, Recruitment will go live on Monday. So good luck, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody. Good night.